Welcome to the Health Sport Podcast, a podcast in which we discuss with athletes of all levels, health professionals, and key figures of the sport world. Before presenting this episode's guest, please consider sharing this with your friends and loved ones who could benefit from it. Also, I encourage you to subscribe to the show on whichever platform you're listening to. It helps the podcast grow. This episode's guest spent years competing in volleyball with the Rouge at l'Université Laval, and today she helps lead that same program as an assistant coach. Off the court, she serves as the events and community coordinator at Égal Action, which is one of the driving forces behind the Own It Period campaign, an initiative pushing to break the silence around menstrual health and pelvic floor wellness in competitive sport. We'll discuss what it truly means to advocate for women's health in sport and why this conversation is long overdue. Please welcome Beatrice Lamarche. Beatrice, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me.
You have been a player for the Rouge for 5 years, and now you're an assistant coach for the Rouge.
Yeah.
How your relationship with the Rouge evolve, and what does it mean to you to have been more than 5 years with the same school?
Yeah, so, it means a lot to have been like a player for the Rouge actually I've been there for 6 years because it was COVID for 1 year. Yeah. And it meant a lot to me to come back as a coach because I wasn't sure where I wanted to coach when I finished my years, but it means a lot to come back and to contribute to the program differently and to stay close to this program that meant like a lot to me like during the past 6 years, and to be able to contribute differently and to be able to stay close with the girls but have like a different relation with them has been great, and I'm really happy to continue for the next few years to be with the Rouge.
Because the last 2 years you were captain with the girls?
I think it's been I've been captain for 5 years, I think. 4 or 5.
Okay. So you're already a leader.
Yeah, I think I got this role like really early on, like when I got into the team. So I think like during COVID, I don't really count it. So we'll say 4 years.
And then, so you already had the position of leadership within the team, but now you're assistant coach. How the relationship needed to shift between the girls and you to be able to be a great assistant coach? Yeah.
I feel like there was already like this position of leadership, but I needed to put like a distance with the girls, like for sure. And with some of the girls I was closer with, like Alexandre and Justine, we had to like, okay, so separate the things. So when we're in practice, and I'm assistant coach. And when we're outside of the gym, it's something else. So we had like, we tried to like separate it. And that was not easy. It was kind of a challenge, but I feel like now, like the older girls they finished their careers. So with the younger girls, it's been good to like continue to develop this relationship. Because I like the girls that are in their third year right now, we already had like a really good relationship, but we continue to like nurture that, and it's shifted, but it's been good. But it was definitely a challenge.
And how did you arrive to play volleyball in Quebec?
Okay, so I didn't think I was gonna play like at the university level at first. Well, I actually didn't think I was gonna play D1 in Cégep at all. It was just like I was never the type of person that was like, okay, I'm gonna go do this and then I'm gonna go do that. I was like doing my thing, trying to be better every day. And I got 4 offers to play D1 in Cégep. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm going to go. I went to Bois de Boulogne in Montreal. And when I was in my third year of Cégep, I didn't think I was going to get like that many offers. And I got offers at McGill, UQAM, and here in Quebec. And well, the program that I went into was like really unique in Quebec. So it was like a mix of law, political science, and economics. And it was like really unique. And I don't know, I really wanted to like see something else and like shock people. Like, I don't know. It was like really weird for a Montreal girl to go play for the Rouge. It was like, what is she doing? So I don't know. There's a mix of a lot of things that, so I've been here for 7 years now. But, yeah.
And the Rouge have a great volleyball program. Yeah,
they had like a really great program and like great facilities also. Like the gym is like pretty impressive. So a lot of these things made me want to come to Quebec.
And after your bachelor, you went to master degree?
So I did 4 programs. I did a bachelor. So what I was saying before, so it was like law, economics, poli-sci. And then, so I did it in 3 years and I only used 2 years of volleyball, right? Because there was COVID. So I was like, oh, I still have 3 years. So I have time to do something before I go into my master's. So I did a certificate in Indigenous studies. And because it really interested me, and I really wanted to learn more about Indigenous studies and the aspects regarding politics and law regarding Indigenous populations. And then I wanted to do a master's as well, but I did I ended up doing 2 programs. It was a certificate in EDI, so equity, diversity, inclusion, and I did a master's in science of administration. I did both of them in 2 years. Yeah, it was
While
fun.
playing volleyball.
Yeah, while playing volleyball.
D1.
Yeah.
How was the agenda?
Actually, the school part and the volleyball part was not the worst.
Okay.
It was all the other things that I added on, but the school and volleyball was okay.
What did you added?
A lot of implications, a lot of committees, a lot of projects, and I just started being really a lot of people started to ask me to be on panels and moderate conferences and stuff like that. So that's what got added on in my agenda, but it was fun. I gained a lot of experience doing all of these things. Yeah.
You're a West woman. You say yes a lot.
Yeah, it's something I have to work on to say no a little more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And all those experiences, were they coming to you, or you were doing steps trying to attract them?
Yeah, I feel like it was a bit of both. At first, a lot of things came to me. I was not really the type of person that would start initiatives or start a project. It was more well, some I had opportunities, but it was also I would speak up about things that I didn't like around of what I would see around me, and people are like, "Hey, well, do something about it." And I'm like, "I don't know what can I do?" And they were like, "No, you can do this if you want this to change." So I started putting actions and putting stuff in place to change stuff in my environment and in my program, and that's really how it started.
And do you remember what was your first experience on a committee or to change something?
Yeah, well, I did a little bit in Cégep. We had a thing called B2B Écoute, which was we're getting courses to know how to help people around us in the school. So I started doing that, and we also had a athletes committee at my Cégep. So that was the first little things. But when I came to Quebec, before COVID, right, we have to remember, my bachelor's degree was there were so many committees, so many activities, it was really intense. So it I was drawn into these experiences and these committees. So it kind of started all together. When I came to uni, everything was just calling my name, and I was hey, I have to participate in all these things.
And do you have one favorite activity or committee that you were involved in, and you were this changed my life?
Yeah, well, we talked about it earlier, but it was these implications with Vide ta sacoche, which is an organization that helps people with health products and cosmetics, people in need. And so we started doing activities to raise money and collect products for people in need in the Quebec City area with the Rouge. So it was Marie-Pierre Champagne from the basketball team who once asked me to replace her in an event. And I was like, oh, I don't know anything about this, but sure, let's go. And then I learned, I met the founder, and I learned about this organization. So I started getting into these activities and starting doing more for that. And I ended up actually working for this organization later. So it was really impactful for me, and it really opened me up to the different opportunities I could have, putting some time in things I really appreciated and wanted to make a difference in. Yeah.
And you work a lot with organizations and company and committees to advance women in sport.
Yeah.
Why is it important for you?
Yeah. I feel like it was not something that I really understood or was like aware of until I got in uni. Because I had the privilege of like in high school and in cégep, our volleyball program was like one of the biggest programs in both of my schools. So like in high school, there was no men's volleyball, and in cégep, we were the only D1 program. So we had like a lot of the resources, the gyms. We didn't have to fight for any of that. So I've never really seen that before getting to uni. And the only thing I had like realized that it was that I didn't have a lot of women's coach like in my journey. Like in my high school, I had a women's coach for my 5 years. Then I got in cégep. I had 2 male coaches, and in D1 in cégep, there were no women who like were head coaches in the league. So I started like seeing that and being like, oh, okay, that's interesting. Why is that? And when I got to the Rouge, I was like, oh, okay. So it was like more, I feel, competition for like visibility and resources. And I started seeing like what it was like to have like a men and a women's program like in my sport, which I never experienced before. And then like the football program has like a lot of visibility and a lot of money. And it was like, okay, I started to see like some of these like inequities. And it was really when I started to coach that I saw more of the inequities like around me.
Right.
Yeah. Like I was never like really aware as an athlete, but when I started coaching in these like, big competitions, like the first thing I really like stood up for me was, I saw like in the broadcasting, the
schedule.
Yeah, in the schedule, that like the both of the women's and men's gold finales were gonna be broadcasted, but only the men's for the bronze medal. So I was like, oh, that's weird. And like my athletes were like, oh, like why is that? Because it didn't really matter to us because we were playing the gold medal game, but it was like, okay. So I went to ask like the volleyball committee to be like, oh, like why is that? And it was like, oh, it's the broadcaster who decided. Like we can't say anything about it. So like some little things started to like, oh, okay, that's weird. Why is that? And I started to be like more aware and to speak up more about like these things that I started to see. So it was like more as a coach that I started to see all these inequities.
There's something that I think even in business, sometimes higher management hide things from lower employees, or in the case of sports, the coaches sometimes stop some information so the athletes can focus on the performance.
Yeah.
And I can understand why now as a assistant coach, like you're focusing on the event, not on the performance.
Yeah.
As when you're an athlete, you're just thinking about performance. Everything around is kind of, it's there, but it's around.
Yeah.
It must not impact how I'm going to play.
Yeah. And I feel like in women's volleyball, like when I was growing up, like women's volleyball was really big compared to men's volleyball. So there was not a lot of like tournament for guys. There was not like, there was not a lot of guys that were playing volleyball. So as an athlete, I couldn't really see any inequities because women's volleyball was so big. Girls volleyball was so big. So as an athlete, I didn't feel impacted by inequities of like gender inequities, but really like, and we're going to maybe talk about it a little more later, but I feel like in the coaching area, like you see like there are not a lot of women's coaches, like the higher you get. And that's where it started to like, raise flags for me, because as an athlete, I had pretty much like all I needed and was not like impacted by inequities. But as I see like some women's coaches and as I'm like evolving in coaching, I can see those more.
Why do you think there's less women
That's
head coach?
A really big question. So many reasons, but coaching is like, it's a boys' club, like it really is. And it's not really adapted for women. Like, any woman that wants to have like a family and everything and wants to have kids, like it's really hard to manage like having kids and coaching on the weekends and on the weeknights. You need to have someone that's really like there for you to like help you with everything. So there's that, but it's a really big issue. But it's like, and we see like younger teams, younger players, like a lot of they're coached by a lot of girls and a lot of women, but we don't see them like continuing to coach and like evolving in that, and it's like really complex.
Yeah, and I think generally in sports, being a coach in high school, cégep, it's a tough job.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's a side job.
Yeah.
And as you said, it's on weeknights, weekends, you have tournament, you take a trip. And I had the opportunity to continue coaching, but at some point, there's not a lot of money as a coach. So you need to do it by passion, and you need to sacrifice a lot, even as a coach, to pursue this path. But if you don't have someone back home to take care of the home and the family, it's so hard. And like even now, you can see in a lot of young sports, they have difficulty to recruit new coaches in every sport. So you're like, can we help them?
Yeah, and as you said, there's not a lot of money, so it's like it's really hard to manage. And what the thing that worries me is that there are women who coach, but for some reason we're not able to keep them. Like there's a reason they leave, right? So, and there's a reason they leave, but men stay, right? And that's some men stay and evolve in the coaching area. So that's like, I think that's the main focus, to see why are they leaving.
And today, you're wearing On It Period. Your camera. So On It Period, it's a new campaign that have been launched in March.
In March, yeah.
Can you talk us about it?
Yeah. So On It Period was launched by Femmes dans le Sport. And it is to open up the conversation about menstrual health and pelvic health in sports. And I am also an ambassador of this campaign. And so I'm with Égal Action. So I'm coordinator events and community with Égal Action. And Égal Action and INS Québec, so in French, it's l'Institut National
National Institute of Sports of Quebec.
Yeah. So we helped, so Égal Action and INS Québec helped to develop tools and la grille d'équité menstruelle in French. So it's the menstrual equity. Menstrual equity. Scale, perfect. So we helped develop these tools with Femmes dans le Sport. And so it's really about like sensibilization, education for athletes, for coaches, for health professionals, to open up the conversation about menstruations and pelvic health in sports. And I'm really excited to be an ambassador for this campaign, because it was not something we talked about when I was young at all. So I'm just like really happy to be a part of like the group of athletes and women that opened the conversation up about it.
What's the menstrual equity chart scale?
Yeah. So it's like a checklist of all the things that you should do or you need to do as like an organization or a club or a team to be like, to have menstrual equity. So it can be like, okay, so you have products available if needed. You have running water in your toilets, like next to your gym. You have like you have uniforms that are like comfortable for girls to wear. Like example, if I'm in gymnastics, well, I can also wear shorts or leggings if I need to, if I want to. It's like a lot of like things that you need to be, okay, like I need that to be able to say, okay, we have menstrual equity in my gym or in this organization. Yeah.
Where is it available? For their coaches that wants to.
So it's online at Femmes dans le Sport. So you go on their website, the On It Period campaign. So you're going to find the tools, the pamphlets that INS Québec and Femmes dans le Sport worked on. And the scale is also available on that website.
All right. I was curious about this.
Yeah, we can check it out later.
Good. In the campaign, it stated that 90%, 9 out of 10 women do not speak about their menstrual health or pelvic pain in their sport.
Yeah.
By your experience, are you surprised by the number?
Not at all.
No,
not at all. Well, I hoped it was better than it was like back in my day when I started doing sport, like started playing sports, but I'm not surprised. I feel like, well, especially if you're like, if you're not like, if you don't have like women's coaches around you, I feel like that makes a lot of sense, that you don't really feel comfortable talking about it with your coach and with people around you. But I feel like it's not like back in my day, we didn't really talk about it like with our coaches or with people from our program to say, like, oh, we need this or we need that, or is that normal? Like, we wouldn't talk about that.
Not even between teammates?
Well, between teammates, yes.
Okay.
Like, it depends. Well, in Cégep uni, yes. When we were in high school, like, not that much.
And even though you talk it within the teammates, they all 18 to 23, 25 years old, young woman. Mm-hmm. You don't have an experienced woman, older woman that might have lived through this phase. It's just, you're all at the same moment living the different things, that if you have someone maybe older that you could have a reference to and feel safe to talk about it, that can understand you or direct you toward the good programs or good doctors if needed.
Yeah. I feel like it helps, but I don't remember talking about that with any of my coaches, men or women. But I feel like if I needed to, I would have been like more drawn to talk to like my coach that would be like a woman, but I don't remember talking about that with any of my coaches.
I remember that us, the Biathlon Quebec team, we had one year, we had a physical exam with a doctor and a physio just to make sure everything was all right before the season. Is there something similar with the Rouge volleyball on your own experience?
We have that when we get into the team. So in our first year, we have like an exam to see like, okay, do we have like any injuries from the past, and like, do we need to work on some stuff, or is like a part of our body like weaker that we need to work on? But it's more like, it's really with our physio. It's not like with a doctor.
Okay.
Yeah.
That good way that maybe someone who's listening that could have a good idea.
Yeah.
But yeah, when you're an athlete, your body's your temple and needs to be functioning well, not just the muscles and the bones, but
I feel
everything.
Like we didn't really have like anything specific for us as women. Like, and I'm not saying like Rouge, just like in general in my career, I never really had like anything like regarding my period or regarding like my pelvic health that I never really had like someone to like help us with that or anything. Like,
it needs to come from you with your personal doctor if you want to talk about it. Okay. Oof. And why is it important to talk about this?
It's important to talk about it because it takes so much space. Like, it takes so much space in our minds. Like when we're having like issues, or just like when you're on your period and you have a game to play. Like, I feel like it's so stressful to have that. Like, you want to perform well, you want to like play your game, and you already have so many things to like think about. And like, when this adds on top, when you practice or when you play, like it takes so much space. I feel like the fact that we can talk about it like with each other and like with other people, like relieves us from like that stress and that like mental pressure about our period. So I feel like it's just some unnecessary like stress like throughout like our career and throughout our day like as an athlete. It's just like, it's hard when you don't have anyone to talk to about it, and you keep it all to yourself. Like, it's pretty hard and stressful, I say.
So talking about it can lower the stress about the situation.
Yeah, for sure. And like stupid example, but like when you're on your period and you have a game, just saying to your teammate, oh, like, can you tell me if like there's something, and if like, oh, so you see something, just like someone's backing you up, right? So just like stupid stuff, but it's like it helps you if like people around you are like there for you to support you in that.
They're not stupid.
No, but
it's not stupid.
It's not stupid, but it's like a detail. It's like it seems silly, but like just
it's
talking to your girls about it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
It can seem like a small thing, a small thought, but compound to everything else. It's just
Yeah, exactly. And I feel like the more we talk about like the less stressful and the less like big all of this is.
And now as an assistant coach, how do you promote, how do you encourage your athletes to talk about it?
Yeah, well, it's a good question because I was never like, we never talked about it like in the gym. It's not natural to like bring it up. Okay, if anyone's on their period and like you want to talk about it, it's like, it's not natural. But like I also coach like younger girls during the summer. And I feel like that's where like maybe the impact is bigger because like they start that they're, maybe some of them, they just had their period for like a year or two and it's like, it's all new and like new symptoms and everything. And I feel like that's where like the impact is bigger. And just the fact that some girls are comfortable to tell me, oh, like I'm having really big cramps. Can I take like 5 minutes off? Like, okay, like no worries. Like, I feel like that's really important for me to know that they can express their limits because I never really did that as an athlete. And regardless of like period or injuries or whatever, or like mental health, so the fact that they can say it out loud and like they can talk to me about it is like really, I'm glad to see that they can actually like express their limits and talk to me about it because I never really did. Like, I don't remember one time that I said, oh, my cramps are too intense, I have to stop. Like, I never did that in my entire athlete life. So yeah.
What action did you take to make the environment safe so that the younger girls can say this to you?
I feel like I put a lot of importance on communication in general, like injuries, emotions, frustrations, like whatever it is. And I feel like that's what maybe helped for the girls to feel comfortable around me. And I want to know, like, whatever they're feeling, like I felt it too. And probably like I've had injuries, I've had disappointments, I've had everything. So I feel like I want them to know that they can actually tell me anything and be comfortable with me. Yeah.
And with this team, are you the only coach or do you have other coaches with you?
So last summer we were 3. I was head coach and I had 2 assistant coaches. And this summer I'm going to be on the provincial team and I'm going to be an assistant coach. So we're going to be 2. So yeah, I had other people with me and I feel like people are like, the girls are often more comfortable to talk to the assistants. Yeah. So it was weird for me to like switch in like a head coach position and that the girls were not as comfortable to talk to. Yeah, because I was head coach, but in my mind I was like the same person, right? So that was kind of tough to see, but yeah, I feel like people they're more comfortable with the assistants. Yeah.
And the assistants and the other coaches, are they male or female?
Last summer I had a male and a female assistant coach. Yeah.
Do you see different dynamics?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
for sure. I feel like the girls are more comfortable like talking to women about like their emotions and about like, anything regarding like their menstrual health and everything. That's for sure. But I find it hard to like, I don't really know how to, for a men coach to be like, for them to be like they might be really open to talk to it about their athletes, but I don't feel like as an athlete, I would have been like comfortable, like going to my coach about that. Like, I don't know how to change like the mindset about that. Cause I feel like that's like the big issue is like, if there's no girls around, like in the staff, it's going to be harder for the girls to like talk about it.
I think it's a bigger job as a male coach to create a safe space that the girls can talk about it. Especially like sometimes in high school, I think you can be only one coach.
Yeah.
So if there's only one male, you don't have a choice. Yeah. It's this one. So for sure, the male coach need to do a lot of effort compared to a female athlete.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that if you go higher levels with multiple coaches,
Yeah.
at least have one female coach.
That's for sure. That
I think help. And open positions, as we said at the beginning.
Yeah.
To have more, if there's more spaces for female coaches and trying just help and prove that you want your female athlete to be feeling safe and to be in a safe space. I'm not saying that having only male coach create a tough space for them, but it can help to have at least one female coach.
Sure. And like the issue is like, okay, so we want female coaches, but we don't want them just to handle like, you know,
menstrual stuff.
Yeah, menstrual stuff or like emotions. Because often you see, like I want a girl on my staff because I want them to like handle, like why do you want, like, is it because you want the girls to feel safe or you just don't want to deal with like the girl stuff and you know, like if there's any like things that are going on and like any negative emotions you don't want to deal with. So it's like you have to find that balance because you want to create a safe space, but you also have to, like, as you said, you want to be like responsible. Also, if the girls want to talk to you, then you have to be able to like rise up to that challenge to talk about these stuff with them.
And as you said, I'm gonna skip ahead a lot in the questions, but as a program, as a campaign on that period, you want to reach female athletes, sports staffs and organizations. But in the sports staff, the coaches, as a male or female coach, they need to learn about it. Even if you're female and you have menstruation, you need to learn how to talk about that and all the resources that are available to, like you said, when you were in high school and cégep, you didn't stop yourself because of your menstrual cramp. But now today you're encouraging your athletes to just say it, not like yell it, but to tell you it's not the best day. I need 5 minutes. And as the campaign on it period, all the tools you're making available for the coaches. Are you doing also courses or training for the coaches?
So like in the campaign, there are a couple of like courses and everything that are going to be available, and there are like some how do you say, like reading club about like scientific articles and stuff, and so that's like really regarding the campaign. But like at Égal Action, we offer like one of our course is about like really physical factors about like women and girls in sports. So we talk about that like during this course, and I think it's really important for the coaches, as you said, to be equipped to talk about it, because as you said, I want the girls to feel comfortable, but I never really had that model like for me like as an athlete. So I think it's important for men and women to be able to talk about it more as coaches. And as you said, even if like you have like a women's coach, maybe she never had any symptoms, maybe she's not really like open about that, and it doesn't like, it's not because she's a woman that she is comfortable or that she accepts like how you're gonna like talk about your period and everything. So I feel like it's really important to like for everybody to have more tools
to be a coach. Like we talked earlier about the lack of coaches because of not the funding, but the salaries and all the sacrifices you need to do to become a coach, and especially in the lower levels of playing of sport. In high school, to become a coach, you kind of only need to know a little bit about volleyball. You don't need to know, I don't think you need to have the PNCE.
I don't think so.
I don't know what's in English, but the national program of coach training. I know when you're getting at the higher level, sometimes you have the level 3, 4, 5. and I think I have my level 2, and we don't talk about like the impact of menstrual health in performance.
Yeah. It would be like a dream for like these for our courses to be like mandatory.
Yeah.
But they're not right now. But I feel like the thing is, like, it's really hard to coach. Coaches already have like a lot of tasks and a lot of things to do, and I feel like we keep adding, stuff for them to do. Okay, concussions. We have like in French we say la règle de deux, like you can never be alone with an athlete. And there's a lot of like
the pairing rule.
Yeah, so we have a lot of like, okay, check this, check that. We have like as time goes, we have more responsibilities, and I feel like that's what's hard right now, is like to keep adding on to that with like menstrual health and specific things. So it's really hard like to manage that, but I feel like it needs to be like, well, maybe not mandatory, but like, well, I wish it was, but for like these courses to be like more available, and like that people know more about that stuff, and for people to want to learn about that stuff, because I feel like a lot of people are like, oh, I coach everybody the same and that's how it's supposed to be, but it really, that's really what it is, right? So it, like, you need to have little curiosity and little like self-awareness to interest yourself into these topics.
And we ain't gonna fix this this afternoon, but like the information needs to be available.
Yeah.
And I think just there's a lot of information right now. So you have mental health, the pairing. For the one who doesn't know, is a coach can never be alone with an athlete to prevent sexual actions. And after that, you said concussion, menstrual health. So you're adding on, adding on. And on top of that, you have all the technical aspect of the sport that's evolving.
Let's not forget the actual sport.
The actual sport. And to just maybe a refresher. Yeah. Just like a basic class of like, here's 5 slides about concussions, 5 slides about menstrual health, maybe 10 slides about the pairing. Yeah. That's another topic. Yeah. But maybe like to put them in class to become a coach could be, on my point of view, more beneficial than to learn the latest technical point in the sport. Oh yeah, for sure. And especially if you coach girls, or if you coach like mixed teams, so with girls and boys, that it's like you need to have like a certain specific like attention about that. And I feel like for me too, well, I practice what I preach. That's what I want people to do as well. But I feel we have to do more education about that for sure. And if we come back a little bit. Yeah. Femme dans le sport. Yeah. Égale action. Femme dans le sport, for the English speaker, women in sport. Égale action, equal action, and the National Institute of Sport of Quebec. Yeah. You united the 3 of them together. Why was it important that the 3 of them worked together to create On It Period? Yeah, so the On It Period campaign created by Femmes dans le Sport was like a really good way for us to come with our expertise about like our specific expertise on, how to coach girls, or what girls need to have in their environment to be comfortable and to be safe. And for INS Quebec to also come in to help with the tools and the posters and the pamphlets on the scientific level was like really important for us to like join forces and for us to help in this campaign. Because we don't talk about it enough. There are not a lot of resources out there. So for us to join forces and to help for this Femmes dans le Sport campaign was like really, really important. And there was no way we would say no to that opportunity. And do you feel Quebec is leading the way in this subject right now in the world, or is it more national? How do you situate it? It's a good question. I feel like in general, like women's sports right now has a big momentum. Like I feel in Quebec, in Canada, and worldwide. But I think we have to be like really
we need to be careful to not say, okay, we're done. We're leading the way. We're good. We can take a step back. I feel like we're like a lot of social injustice keeps. I feel like we've taken a step back in a lot of areas, like in general, like in inequities and in gender inequities and in violence towards women. I feel like a lot of things are like really hard right now, and I feel like we need to continue to put effort and energy to put like women's agenda and women's like inequities like up front, because as you probably know, like sports is always like it's really hard to move as fast as society. Like in sports, like in French, we would say like le sport est toujours à la remorque de la
Sport is
société en
behind
général.
the society.
Yeah. And it feels like it's always a little more conservative than the rest of of society, because it was always like it was always led by men in general. So it's like really tough to make things move forward in general, like in coaching, in health, in reffing, in, you know, like all the leadership roles are like a lot of leadership roles are owned and are taken by men. So I feel like it's really important to continue to like work forward, and also to work with men to advance, because it's not true that we're just gonna we need men to help us, right, in that area. So I feel like we have a good momentum, but we really need to work hard to continue to move forward.
Okay, yeah. I understand your argument, but it's the first time I am hearing this sentence.
About sports?
Yeah, about sport.
Yeah.
Because if we can think about Invictus, the movie about rugby, I forgot the runner also that ran in the 1936 Olympics in Berlin. Jesse, I think. But like on the racial part, sport, I think with those two examples, can be before society. Like some people let the place for black athlete to be performing on the world stage and everything. And that after that there was a switch in society.
That's interesting. Yeah.
But it's weird that maybe with race that could be the case, but with women, with sex and gender, it could be completely different. Yeah,
depending on the inequities. Yeah, that's interesting. But because I feel like sports is also like a big way to unite people, as you said, and like people don't really care about like who you are or whatever. They just want to like work together to, you know, for the team's like for the team's goal or whatever. But I feel like in general, like sports moves slower. like it's really like, you know, some environments are like really conservative, like, you know, around sports. And I feel like it's still hard for women to like have their place. And, you know, I coach women's sport, but like, you know, women who coach guys or who coach men, like that's a whole other subject. That's really hard to deal with also, like as a woman, and who ref like men's sport, like that's something else also. So, cause I feel like, it would be like a whole other conversation, but it's an interesting way to look at it.
And you said we are a leader. We don't have to step back now. We need to keep leading the way. Yeah. And do you think Quebec is advanced toward other places? Do you think we are more advanced than them on this subject, or a lot of places in North America or in Europe we're all going up at the same time? Yeah, I feel like what I've heard is like maybe Europe is not as open as like Quebec, Quebec people are about like, you know, menstrual health, about, you know, all that stuff. I feel like maybe we're a little more open about that, but that's a good question. Okay. I don't know. And, during the Olympics this winter, the figure skater, I think she was from Amber. She's from the US. Yeah. And in biathlon, at the end of the season in Oslo, there's a French woman who at the press after a race, she just said, "Oh, I'm in my period. I had the worst cramp ever. I'm gonna try my best tomorrow, but today was not a good day." And she just said that like 3-4 weeks after the Olympics.
Okay. Yeah.
So I think it's, and she's young. I think she's 24, 25. Okay. So I think it's
young girls starting to like take, to talk about it more, because I don't think we would have heard that like 10 or 15 years ago. Absolutely not. And
the older athletes on the World Cup in biathlon. And I think it was one of the first time I've heard it since I was doing biathlon since 2009.
Yeah. It's not something people talk about at all. And like, it's not because you're going to be on your period that it's going to affect necessarily your performance, but it can affect the way you feel and like physically how you feel and like your perception of how the race went. So like, for me, it's crazy that we never really, publicly talked about it like Amber or like the biathlete did like a couple of weeks ago.
There's one study that came out really lately.
Yeah.
That on term of strength, there's no difference. So you're not losing your muscles because you are in your period. Can all the cramps and all the mix of hormones, can you feel sluggish? Can you feel sad? Can you just impact the general well-being you're feeling on this day? Yes.
Yeah, absolutely.
But your strength is still there.
Yeah. And sometimes you feel weaker, but and like maybe you're going to be able to lift the same weight, but it's going to feel harder, right? So exactly, it doesn't affect necessarily like the actual performance, but your perception of it, yes.
And with relative to the coaching, the athletes and the organization, which one of the three that need to be addressed more urgently to talk about menstrual health and pelvic health? Yeah,
I think for me, it's the coaches.
Coaches?
For sure. I feel like the fact that they're always in contact with the athletes and they're the people that are closest to the athletes. I feel like for me, that's like really the key, like for them to be able to know more about menstrual health and pelvic health and everything. I feel for them to be a resource for the athletes is really important. And regarding like my experience, I feel like that's what would help the most if like my coaches had more tools to talk about that.
Because you can say that the directives need to come from the top. Yeah, that's the wish. But even though if the general manager of a Federation of Canada says you need to put some time in there, if the coaches doesn't do anything, doesn't put the effort and the conversations to be safe to talk about this, the athletes won't do their part. If you say to the athletes, do it, but the coaches doesn't do anything. Yeah, exactly. It's a big catch-22.
Exactly.
Instead, you go with the coaches. And I'm not saying they don't need funding, but even without funding, I think coaches can do things. Yeah. Do you have any tips for the coaches? You talk about communication and...
Yeah, I feel like just be open about like specifically that subject and be like vocal about the fact that if the girls need anything about that in that area, that you are open to talk about it, and just to like, as you said, open the conversation about it. Because I feel like maybe the girls won't like, they're not going to feel comfortable, but at least you will have like, you'll have made and you'll make the first move to say, okay, like if there's something, like don't hesitate to reach out. So if something happens or if the girls need anything, they're gonna be able to like come up to you.
Firstly, if you're listening to this episode, it's the first step. And then just take like a Saturday morning with your coffee.
And read about it.
Go on the Own It Period website. Find all the tools and the charts and the resources. Just learn about it. Yeah. And once at the beginning of the season, maybe during the mid of the season, just to have a refresher. Yeah. At the beginning of every season, just have a little refresh. Yeah. If the phone numbers change, the name of the organization change. Yeah. But that could be a great step toward just leveling up your level of coaching.
Yeah, for sure. Absolutely.
And you said that you never stop when you were athlete, even though you were having cramps or a bad day. And in the campaign, it stated that 60% of women limit or reduce their sport activities during the period.
Yeah.
How do you, as a assistant coach, how do you encourage the woman, your athlete, your female athletes, to adapt or to continue to do sports and physical activity?
Yeah, it's a good question.
Yeah.
Because I feel like we've never like sport at that level, we never really talked about it regarding like, you know, taking breaks or anything. I feel like, so for me, I never felt like I had the choice, like as an athlete, to like stop or like take a break or anything, because it was just like not talked about. And I feel like what's tricky about team sports is when you need to like step out for something like an injury, mental health, your period. I feel like there's always this fear that someone's going to take your place if you're not doing as well, and you don't want to have excuses or anything. So I feel like that's what's hard about like stepping away, no matter what the reason is. So I feel that's the narrative that needs to change, is that like if you take care of yourself, or if you need to take care of yourself for whatever reason, like it's not going to affect like your spot or your playing time or whatever, and it shouldn't be that that reflection shouldn't exist. Like it's not healthy to think that way, that you prioritize like your playing time over your health, over your mental health, over whatever. So I feel like that's the narrative that needs to change, like overall, like regarding health in general. But I feel like just helping the athletes know their limits and to help them like communicate those limits is really important. But most of the time they don't want to stop for the reasons I mentioned.
And in individual sports, you're not going to lose your place, but when you're going to go racing, you're going to get shattered and you're going to lose your place after that.
Yeah. It's like, it's different, but it's not that different.
I know for Biathlon Canada, now they have a rule about injuries regarding cardings and national team spots, so that if you have an injury that can last up to a year, something like that, you're not losing your spot on the national team. And next year, you're going to have the same place. You're going to be able to have your carding also. The carding is the salary you receive as a Canadian professional athlete. Professional. When you're in the national team.
Professional.
You're professional with $30,000 a year, but that's another subject. We may call Laurent. But to be able to feel safe that you're not going to lose your spot.
Yeah.
Coaches need to tell the kids, the athletes, that. And sometimes in sport, when we are young, we are hungry.
Yeah.
We want everything.
Yeah.
And fast. And if you're good, if you're a performance athlete, you want to keep up. You're putting a lot of pressure on yourself.
Yeah.
And you want to keep the climb, the performance going up and up and up every day, every week, every year. But sometimes, like, taking a step back can be the best thing you can do for yourself.
Yeah, but sadly, I think like as an athlete, you're gonna learn that lesson when you're not gonna learn that lesson if you don't have the experience of that step back. That's gonna be forced, I think.
There's one podcaster, Chris Williamson, that is saying, we know all the lessons from the past, like to have money, to be rich won't make you happy. But everyone wants to say, oh, the rule doesn't apply to me. Yeah. And everyone wants to test it.
Yeah.
So when you're a young athlete, you can say, oh, I want this. I want to reach. Oh, and I want to perform. But when you win the gold medal and you learn that, okay, what's next? And you're not more happy because you have won the gold medal. We always try to say, oh, the old lessons doesn't affect me, but at the end, you're going to find out that.
Yeah, pretty much for everyone.
And I know volleyball can be a year-long sport if you want to. How do you prevent this kind of reflection and say to a kiddo, it's not the end of the world if he doesn't play in the summer? Doesn't play beach, go do bike, go kayaking and try something else. And when you come back in the winter, just enjoy playing volleyball.
Yeah, I feel like for me, for the summers I played, like on the provincial teams and everything, the Canada Games, like our coach were really good of like giving us breaks. So when we came back from the Canada Games, we wouldn't practice. We didn't practice for a month before. So I was like really lucky enough to have that, like to be supported in that and to be like forced to like, okay, you're not practicing, you're just doing your training and that's it. So I was lucky for that. But I feel like kids want to do everything. They want to play beach, they want to play indoor, they want to do all the teams. And it's really important, to like try to explain to them that they can't do like this all year long and not have like breaks and downtime. So it's really important. But as I say, like, I feel like you're not gonna buy into it before you actually experience it. Because I feel like as a kid, I would play on like 3 soccer teams and then do my volleyball training and be on the regional team and do everything. But like at some point before you reach your breaking point, you're not gonna step back by yourself. Well, if people are like intelligent enough to do that while they're teenagers, good for you. But I did not do that.
Yeah. For me, I was able to stop biathlon just before it was too much because I don't know for volleyball, but there's a lot of sports and athletes that probably and I know that you play so much of the sports. You played up to university. I didn't play up to university. I stopped in college. But when you go into university and you've been playing since you're 5, 6, 7, 8 years old, playing up to 24, 25, the majority of your life has been this sport.
Yeah.
And at some point, sometimes there's 2 types of people. The first type, it's like, okay, I'm done. I just want to stop playing.
Yeah.
I'm just tired of this. You can see it at the last 2 years. There's zero motivation. There's zero passion just to play the game. It's so I need to do this. I need to finish. We want to win the Canadian Championship, but like, if we win it, good. If we don't win it, just too bad. And there's the other type that after 20 years of playing the sport, probably didn't play year long during 20 years doing other sports. And when they stopped volleyball, or in this case, volleyball or whatever other sport, they want to continue to do it for fun.
Yeah.
And they do tournaments, they play in beer leagues, and they just having fun, continue to play the sport. Yeah. They don't quit like day and night from one day to another.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I feel like for me, it was like my identity is so linked to volleyball that I felt like I needed to do something else. But I feel like for me, coaching is like, and being in the gym every day is like close enough to playing. And because of my concussions, I stopped playing. Like I haven't really like played in a year. But I'm trying to like do something else. Like I'm getting back into yoga, into cycling, into running. I haven't done that in 5 years. And I ran yesterday. It's the comeback because I was a runner. I used to do cross country and everything. Yeah. But yeah, so like doing sports for fun and like trying to find like pleasure into exercise because it was like I liked training, but it was not for fun that I did it. I did it to perform. I did it like for my coaches to be happy. I did it but like
jump higher.
Yeah, to set an example. I did it like for all these reasons, not for fun, for the fun of moving my body. I haven't done that in ever, right? Well, maybe when I was a kid, but like not in the like past 5 years. So for me, it's like more that I'm like looking for these, the fun in moving my body because I haven't. Yeah.
Because there's a turning point probably around college for some, depending on the sport, but the sport stopped being a passion and start to become more like a job. I have to do this because not because I want to, and it's fun. It's fun to play with the ball with your friend in the summer at the park, but okay, no, I'm playing in front of 3,000 people every Friday, Saturday. Okay, I need to be on top of my game if I want to play.
Yeah.
If I want to make points.
Yeah.
If we want to win and cheer at the end of the season.
Yeah. But I feel like it was not like a job, but it was like the like the training like for the game was like more like the job, because I feel like playing was still fun, like practicing was still fun, like it really was, but like all the other things around was like a little, like it was a little harder to like have fun in those moments. But like in my last year, which I was not necessarily supposed to do because I didn't know if I wanted to come back or not for my last year, I really had a different mindset. I was just like there to have fun, because that's why I came back. I came back to have fun and to go back into why did I start playing like when I was 11 years old? It was to have fun. So that's really what I went back to, and that felt great, like to finish my career like having fun and enjoying myself playing.
You enjoy your last year?
Oh, it was my favorite one. It really was.
All your career?
Yeah. Well, no, my third year in Cégep was really, really good. But I feel like in uni, like I had like a lot of success in like past years, like in my 2 first years. But my last year in uni was the one I learned the most. And I was really like, I was focusing on like, okay, right here, right now, and like cherishing every moment. Yeah. Words of wisdom.
If you could change one thing about the culture of sport in Quebec, what would it be?
A little is regarding what we spoke earlier, but for every like girl and woman to do like anything in the sports world and to be safe and to be accepted in that area. Whether it is like playing, coaching, reffing, being the owner of a team, like no matter like what role, for everybody to be able to find their place and to be safe in those areas, and for it not to be like surprising anymore. Oh, first girl to coach that, first girl to ref that, first woman to own a team. Okay, can it just be normal? Like for it to be normal and to be like, as accepted as like anyone else to have that role. Like for me, that's really what it would be. And for it not to be like unsafe or like not pleasant, for people to have like to step into these leadership roles and everything. So yeah, for everyone to have their place, basically.
I have a funny question.
Yeah.
If tomorrow there's a first female something in sport in Quebec, would you prefer the media to say first female in this role?
Yeah.
Or just Beatrice is named head coach of Rouge?
That's a really good question.
Yeah.
I feel like what I'm, I don't know. That's a good question. I feel like the narrative behind like, first woman, like the fact that there's so many firsts that we don't have yet is like the thing that's like, that's a little like unpleasant, but like, I don't mind. Like, I don't think I would mind like either way. I just think it's the fact that it's still surprising. That's like, that's not cool.
Again, a new one. Again, another first one. Yeah,
like another area where we weren't represented. Another like, I feel like that's what it is. But I don't think I would mind like either way. Yeah. At least if they talk about women's sport, like I'm happy.
Because I really don't know for myself too, because I think if we take out the word first, just this woman is named the coach of this organization, whatever. I think it's gonna feel normal.
Yeah, exactly.
Even though if it's not normal, but if it feels normal, probably the next time you're going to see the same headline, you're going to say, oh, but it's just normal that women are there. It's supposed to be normal, but like,
it's a way to normalize it.
Yeah. And I don't know if the normalization is going to be positive or negative.
Yeah.
Like, oh, yes. Yeah, the woman, she's there. Yeah, but you don't know that she's the first one there. But if you learn that, oh, she's the first one, so I can do it. Or, oh, it's just another woman doing normal stuff.
Yeah.
It's
tricky.
It's tricky.
But I feel like to normalize like women being in different leadership roles, I feel like that's what's the most important thing, because if like a young girl sees, oh, like someone's reffing the game and okay, she has a ponytail. Oh, it's a girl. Okay, she's reffing a hockey game, like an NHL hockey game. Oh, that's something we can actually do. Okay, so I feel like to normalize like these headlines or these the fact that you see that's a woman and has like a big role in any sports game, I feel like that's the important part for it to be like something you can look up to like as a young girl.
Football, American football, like they've made quite a huge step in the last years.
Yeah,
it's quite impressive. Hockey, I saw someone saying that if you're not a chief ref, when there's a fight, your job is to break the fight. So if you have two guys that are around 6'4", 6'5", weighing 280 without all the equipment, and you have a 5'2" woman next to them at 140, 120, it's going to be hard to break the fight. Like for hockey, and now I'm talking about professional hockey. I'm not talking about kids hockey at this point.
Yeah.
I think for this sport in particularity could be tough. But as we can see in women hockey, there's a lot of women ref. Yeah. And they're doing great jobs. So
yeah, exactly. I think we need to see more and to see that it's possible, you know, to have these roles.
And if there's a young or less young female athlete that's listening to this episode that is living currently and quietly with menstrual or pelvic pain problem, what's your tip for her?
Talk about it. Like if the first step is to talk to your teammate about it and work up the courage to like talk to someone you trust, either a coach, a physio or sports like a sports doctor or whatever, like talk about it. Like it's not normal to have all these symptoms, all these pains like regarding your pelvic health and your menstrual health. So talk about it and like reach out to people you trust about it, because it's not like you shouldn't have to live all of that alone and for it to take so much space like in your games, in your practice. Like you should be able to like practice your sport like and be like free about that. So like talk about it and go reach out for help. Yeah.
Wise words.
Words of wisdom.
Words of wisdom. I have one last question for you.
Yeah.
A question I ask every guest.
Yeah.
What does it mean to you to be healthy?
To be healthy. That's a good question. I was like, what am I going to say to this question? To be healthy, I think it's to, we talked about earlier to like respect your limits and like to name like when you, to say when your limits are reached and you can't do it anymore. Like I feel like it's to like move your body and like do what makes you feel good. Like if your body like is not letting you like, you know, on your period or what your period or not, or if you don't feel good, then to listen to your body. I feel like that's something when you're an athlete that you're not really prone to do, to listen to your body. But I feel like for me, like in the past year, it has been like my challenge is to listen to my body more, and that feels hard and not intuitive. But to listen to your body and do what makes you feel good. I feel for me is the healthiest habit that I've taken in the past year.
Listen to your body and adapt. Yeah,
if needed. Yeah. And I feel, you know, like I don't lift the same weights and I don't do the same stuff as I did before, but I feel like to just listen to what my body needs and what my body wants to do, like as for like activity and sports. Yeah.
I have another question.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Was it hard for you to switch from performance to doing sport only for fun?
Yeah, but not in the way you think. I feel like for me, it was like, okay, I'm done with competition and now I don't want to do anything else. I feel like some people are like, okay, I'm going to do a triathlon, I'm going to do a marathon, I'm going to do like an IROX. And me, I'm like, no, I don't want to do that. And for me, it's like, for like the first 3 months, it was like, okay, I would go to the gym and I was like, I don't want to do anything. I would like go on the bike and like do some bike. And I was like, okay, I'm done. I want to go home. And I felt like, it's like, and I felt shame about that. I felt like, oh, I'm an athlete. I'm supposed to like want to train hard and everything. But like, and I have these conversations right now with the girls who just finished and who are like, oh yeah, but I want to do this, but I don't want to. And I'm like, take your time to like see what you actually want to do. And that for me, like I started going back to the gym like a lot more regularly in the past few months, and I do what I want to, and I do what I feel like I want to do. Okay, that day if I want to do deadlift, I'm going to do deadlift, and if I don't want to just go on the bike for 20 minutes, that's what I'm going to do, right? So it was hard, but like in the other way, in the sense that I didn't really want to do anything, and now I'm just like finding what I want to do, and like if I want to push myself today, I will, and if I don't, I won't. But yeah, it's challenging to switch that mentality. Yeah.
Like for me in biathlon, usually we have 2 trainings per day. One in the morning is usually ski, and the afternoon is a long aerobic. So it can be 45 minutes running, 2 hours bike or anything. But like to go running for 15 minutes, when you are used to be running an hour, 30 minutes, you're like, why am I gonna go run for 15 minutes? But doing the 15 minutes, if you're having fun, mentally it's hard to tell you I'm only gonna do 15 minutes.
Yeah.
This morning I went for a run for 20 minutes.
Yeah.
And I was like, I just want to go, because I took a 2-week break because I was working a lot.
Yeah.
And I was tired, so I needed to listen to my body.
Yeah.
And I run a lot less than I was supposed to.
Yeah.
And this morning I was like, I need to go run.
Mm-hmm.
I need to, but I don't think I'm not fit. I don't want to risk injuries by going running an hour, 2 hours. Yeah. I'm like, I'm just going to go run for fun. I have a big day. I'm just going to run for 20 to 30 minutes.
Yeah.
I think I did the 3.64 kilometers. I didn't run up to 4 kilometers.
Yeah.
I didn't run up the 23 minutes.
Yeah.
No, it's 22 minutes and some seconds I don't even remember. I'm happy I don't remember it. But just having fun, and like I've stopped competitioning. It was 10 years this January. Mm-hmm. After 10 years,
it's still something you need to work on.
I had to work on, and it's starting to get better from the past year. But it's...
it's a lot of like deconditioning yourself to like always being the best, always wanting to do more, always wanting to perform well. So, yeah.
I was doing pull-ups with 23 kilos between my legs when I was 18 years old, and now I have difficulty with 4 kilos. So
yeah, but that's normal.
That's normal. And I'm going to give you these tips, and if anyone is listening to, my mental tip I use to be happy with myself after years of not competitioning. Yes, I'm not as strong. I don't have the same body that I had when I was training 400 hours a year. So, yeah, I'm not as performant as I was before, but I don't put as much effort. Mm-hmm. It's just normal. Mm-hmm. It's basic math.
Yeah, and you have a life, and you have a job, and you have something else to do except training. Yeah,
and you have to pay for this. You need to do the groceries. Not mom and dad doing the grocery and
not
cooking.
The same.
It's not the same. So just be good with yourself.
Yeah, be kind to yourself.
Yeah,
for sure.
But yeah, if there's any listeners that want to have more information about everything we talk?
Yeah, so for the campaign, it's on Instagram, Femmes dans le Sport, all in one word. You can find us Égal Action at Égal Action, simple as that. We post our courses and our events there. And you can follow me at Beatrice Lamarche. No underscore, because that's the Olympian. I'm not the Olympian. Yeah. It's someone else entirely. So Beatrice Lamarche, all in one. Yeah.
And all the tools are on which website?
So the tools are on the Own It Period campaign's website. Maybe you can link them in the episode. Sure. So that's where you'll find them. We talked about the menstrual equity scale, the tools, and all the informations. They're going to be online.
Perfect. I'm going to put all the links also for Instagram because it's in French. The tagline is in French, so I'm going to put it there. So if you don't know how to write Femmes dans le Sport ou Égal Action, we're going to help you with that.
Perfect.
Bea, a huge thanks.
Thank you for having me. It was great.
See you next time. Thank you to have listened to this episode of the show. If you enjoyed, please subscribe, leave a rating and review. It really does help. And for more content, please follow the show on Instagram, Facebook, YouTube, and TikTok. See you next time.